Hi, welcome to this week's episode of Atlanta's Home and Market. Stephanie and Ira Miskin with the Miskin team at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I hope you had a great week. Um, we wanted to start off this week just talking a little bit about some of the nifty things that are going on and that are about to go on this week coming in Metro Atlanta. It's one of the great reasons to live in the Atlanta metropolitan area is there are just so many different things for so many different people that go on a regular basis. And Steph's got a couple of great things that she's going to put out that I think you'll both enjoy and find useful.
Yep. Well, the first thing I want to tell you about is everybody likes to save money because we know how difficult the times are here. And twice a year, and this one is coming up now next week, is an all for kids consignment sale. These are great, huge sales with really high quality stuff. And it's a fabulous way for families to save money. Um, I go to it twice a year and buy tons of stuff for my grandkids. It's clothing, it's toys, it's shoes, it's incidentals, and it's held for 4 days. And on the last day, is 50% off. So if an item is marked, $5, you'll get it for $2.50. It is in two locations. The first location coming up is going to be in Marietta on the fairgrounds at 2245 Callaway Road. And that's going to be held March the 11th through the 15th. So that's the first one. And then about a week later, I guess, in Woodstock is the second one. And it's in a church building called In His Hands, and the address is 500 Molly Lane in Woodstock. This stuff is very high quality, and it's really 60 to 90% off of retail prices that you would pay. So, if you have kids or somebody who has kids, it's just great to go to. And once you go the first time, you'll get into the rhythm. And if you want to sell stuff with them, you can also do that and also make some money. So basically you go and you you make some money and you spend some money, and it's a wash, but it's great. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you about. And then also coming up, we have the St. Patrick's Day Parade with marching bands and color guards, and it's going to be down Peachtree Street this year. It's one of the city's longest running events, going all the way back to 1848. The parade is going to start at noon at Colony Square, which is at Peachtree Road and 15th Street, and it's going to head south to 5th Street. Um, it's great fun. Make sure you get there and enjoy St. Patty's Day. And while you're down there, I'm sure there's going to be great places that are going to be available for lots of beverages and other assorted St. Patrick's Day goodies. So that's coming up. And also on the 15th, March 15th, in Marietta on the square is going to be the Shamrock Shuffle. And what that is, it's a 5K run. It's going to start at 8 a.m. and it's supported by the Marietta Police Department they have a nonprofit called PALS. And what this organization does is it raises money to put on not put on but to give to kids that might otherwise not be able to play recreational sports, you know basketball, volleyball. And so all the profits from this go to that organization, which basically is going to help kids who don't have the money to pay for sports, and it will provide that for them. So it's a busy month, lots of stuff going on, and I hope you get to enjoy some of it and partake in it.
You know, that's it's everything that you can think of that is good about a city. You hear so many bad things about what goes on all around town every day on the news. And yet, for most of us who live here, we really know that um, where we are, what we do, the kinds of things we do to help each other. Um, that's really all a part of living in metropolitan Atlanta. And frankly, it's just a part of the South. It's the way we are and it's the way we live. And um, it shows itself particularly in the small community events and the events that are all around in what we do, like the event at the local square or the Marietta Police. The the St. Patrick's Day parade and the idea of all of the things that we do and the elves and chasing a pot of gold and all those kind of things. It's all wonderful. It's all fun, but in our world, in the world of real estate, the pot of gold is really when you get the ability to own your own home. And for some people, owning more than one home and investing in real estate and using that as a way of securing not only income, but also securing retirement and future. Real estate is really an amazing and flexible kind of investment. And it's also the kind of investment where you can come home at night, cook dinner, you know, sit, in front of your fireplace, watch TV, play with your kids. Excuse me, it's your home. And um, it's the dream and it's the goal of so many people to be able to own your own home. But there comes a time, sometimes several times during the period of time where you buy and sell homes, where owning your own home is very important, but then you need to sell that home. And just like thinking through what it takes to buy a home, selling a home has a whole list of things that need to get thought through and then done in order for it to be done successfully. Now, people always say the big goal is I want to sell my home for the most money, I want to sell it for the shortest period of time, and I want to sell it for the least amount of hassle, which is something that we adopted years ago. The whole idea that buying and selling homes, even if it's an emergency, even if it is a difficult time, doesn't need to be a hassle. But working in an economy like ours today, which is ever changing and is always flexible, means that at different times there are different needs and goals for what it is that has to be accomplished. I mean, you need to know as a home seller, particularly if you're going to buy another home, what interest rates are on a loan. Buyers are very focused in on that, and us as sellers need to be very focused in on that as well. And it changes from week to week. Sometimes it changes from day to day. Just in the last week, it's gone up and it's gone down several times, depending on the day and the news. Is there tariffs? Is there going to be tax breaks? All of this affects real estate. And over the last couple of years, although the market has exploded, it is beginning to level off. And that level means that as people are putting more and more of their homes on the market to sell, as there's more homes to sell, that means there's more competition. And if there's more competition, it means that buyers have a greater number of choices. And now is where it becomes really important. And I've talked about this in the past. I know you've heard me say this. As a home seller, in order to successfully sell your home, you really need to be thinking like a buyer to attract the buyer to the benefits of owning your home. And there are a variety of ways in which that can get done. But there's lots of things that you need to do to prepare for that home sale, besides everything that you'll learn that you need to do when you bring together a team around you, a good real estate professional with a team, a lender, an appraiser, an attorney, all of those people that are necessary for to help you do this. Um, One of the things that you really need to do is look at what the preparation is for getting that home ready to sell. And we have a really good special report that I think would be really interesting for you. It's called 27 Tips for How to Get Your Home Prepared to Sell for the Most Money in the Least Time with the Least Amount of Hassle. And if you'd like a copy of that special report, all you need to do is either email us, text us, or call us at the number that you'll see on the screen. And we'll get that report to you. So that gives you a good several pages of detail on what you need to be thinking about as you get prepared to go ahead and get that home set. And getting your home prepared is really important. And most of that work needs to be done before you get to that point where you say, okay, I'm really ready now. I want to get this home sold and done. And Stephanie has a really great story about a home seller that she worked with that didn't know anything about getting that house prepared, and how Stephanie was able to help her to get that home ready for sale and successfully get it sold.
Yeah, this lady called me up and said, I have to sell my house. I'm getting divorced and I have to sell my house. And I have two small children and I have no idea what to do." And I said, "That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let me come over and, we'll talk and I'll look at your house and we'll get it all together. Just don't worry." But she had lots of things going on through her head and she really had no concept of what she was to do. So I went over there and she had two little girls, and like any house with two little girls, the chairs in the dining room were, covered with applesauce and peanut butter. The cat was roaming around. There were toys all over the place. And I said, "Okay, so look, this is what we got to do. We've got to clean it up. We've got to declutter it, and we have to do some redecorating." Well, of course, she was really on a limited budget, so she didn't have very much money either. She was, like I said, getting divorced, and she was a nurse and two little kids. So I said, "Don't worry," and I went out and bought fabric and recovered her chairs in her dining room so they looked nice, and bought some draperies and hung some drapes up for her, and told her what to get rid of and how to declutter and what to do with the cat who was always there. And I said, "Well, is it indoor outdoor cat?" And she said, "Yeah, but he really likes to be indoors." And I'm like, "Well, that's nice, but he's going to be outdoors when we show the house." So we moved the cat stuff outside and really made the house lovely and presentable. And it was a sweet little house. It wasn't very big, but it was a sweet little house, and it was in a good school district in a nice subdivision here in East Cobb. And we sold it fairly quickly. But not only was I there to help her, physically do these things, I was there to help her emotionally, because it was such a huge undertaking to even think about, who's on first, what do I do first? And I said, "Just, don't worry, I'll take care of it." So we sold her that house, and she went on, her life went on, and I actually sold her another house, sold that house, sold her another house. So she became a lifetime client and a friend. And now the kids are all grown up.
Yeah. And see, that's, you don't always need to have your real estate agent come in and hang your drapes for you. But that um, strategy for working together with people, that attitude, that whole focus on second mile service, to understand needs and goals, people's circumstances at any given time, what they're able to do, what they're not able to bring off on their own that they'll need assistance for. And then just being able to take time to talk through what's important and take the stress and the hassle out of getting a home prepared, getting it sold, and making the next step. Step one always is, if you are going to get ready to sell a home, thinking about what your goals are. Why are you selling the home? What's most important to you to get that home sold? And then what has to happen in order to make that happen successfully? The three big questions that break down into a lot of moving parts. And I think um, we don't think enough about really what it is that we're doing when we go and sell homes, because it's the place we live. And we don't always realize that it's also an important business venture. There's lenders involved. There's buyers that have lenders involved. There's costs, there's taxes. There are a great many things that have to be known, understood, prepared, and in the appropriate sequence dealt with. And that's why, again, I just want to reemphasize that wherever you are in the country, when you look for a real estate professional to help you to take care of what is necessary to get the job done, make sure that that lender comes with two important things. Number one, a posture and an attitude of second mile service, that everything that needs to be done is on the table, and that's what their job is to do. And that they have a really good team of professionals around them so that whatever comes up can be taken care of. And I'll tell you a quick story. And this is something that one of the real estate agents in our group is dealing with at the moment. And this is something that happens anywhere in the United States. Um, there are whole communities that are built with both mobile homes and modular homes. And mobile homes, also called manufactured homes, don't have warranted deeds. They have titles. They're actually looked at just like you own your car. Well, just like when you buy a home that is a regular standing building or a condominium or a townhome, there's a deed that comes with it that has to be checked and cleared by the attorneys so it can then be passed on to the new owners without there being any difficulties. Well, the owner of this manufactured home, this mobile home, couldn't find the title. Didn't know where they got it from, didn't remember, didn't have their paperwork. And so the real estate agent, along with the closing attorney, and also making a trip to a manufactured home distributor here in the metropolitan area, got the information necessary to know how to contact the original manufacturer of that particular home and have them go through their files to pull the original title on the home, which they then sent to the current homeowner, who could then give it to the attorney, who could then make sure that that title was in good shape so it could be passed along to the new buyers. Now, that took an extra couple of weeks. And that's something that really should have been done in advance by the real estate professional that was representing the seller. Our agent was representing the buyer. But because the real estate agent said, "Oh my goodness, I've never sold one of these before," well, our team jumped in and got everything done. And rather than it taking months or never being done at all, we got it done in about 2 weeks. And that, again, is what I tell you is just absolutely important, is that you have to have, even in the simplest of home sales, a team around you to do those kind of things. But the team has to bring with them a variety of tools and programs and processes to enable you to successfully sell the home. They have to understand that they're in the marketing business as well as they're in the real estate sales business in order to know how to reach the buyers that will be most interested in your home, know what the best story is to tell those buyers, and know what media to actually reach them. Is it a newspaper ad? Is it an ad on Facebook? Is it Facebook Marketplace? Is it Google? Is it direct mail to thousands of people? Is it through the multiple listing services? Is it through private services? Is it, and on and on and on. You follow me? But once you know that you're going to get prepared to sell the home, then what happens is you have to know how to reach people and make that home appear and to feel for buyers as valuable as you know that home is. And there's an interesting process that has been done for years and years and years. It's part of marketing, and many real estate agents will do this. It's called an open house. And Stephanie, you've been to tons of open houses. Talk a little bit about what it's like when you go to an open house and there's nobody there and the real estate agent is sitting there and reading a book.
Well, most real estate agents They stick couple of signs outside the house and in the neighborhood. They register it on FMLS that there's going to be an open house. They stick out some balloons, and maybe they'll send some flyers around to the neighborhood, um, to get the neighborhood folks to come. And then they sit and they wait and they bring cookies and they bring water and they wait and they wait. And many times, maybe one, maybe two, maybe nobody shows up. I mean, if the weather is bad, the likelihood of having anybody show up is pretty slim. So it's a waste of time. Um, it is very disenchanting for the home seller when nobody shows up and all they want to do is sell that house. And then, they're thinking, oh, okay, we're going to have this big open house. And then no one comes and they prepare and they really clean the house. So we don't do that.
No.
We're not in the habit of wasting a Sunday for all those reasons.
Yep. We don't do that at all.
Mm-mm.
What we do is something that we call the mega open house. It's the Sunday tour of homes. It's the premier open house. And um, what it meant was we had to look at what is the point and what is the purpose of an open house. The purpose of the open house is to bring a lot of people all at the same time into that virtually small space and have everybody walking around looking at the home and looking at each other and going, oh, they seem to like this house, and we like this house. Maybe we should be putting an offer in. I wonder if they're going to be putting an offer in. It's called creating competition. And so we created a strategy built around the idea of preparation for the home and marketing to be able to bring as many people as you can in 1 hour to the house. um, we of the many open houses like this that we and our team and the all of the real estate professionals in our group, both here and all of our brokerages around the country, um, we had a client about a year ago. They had a really, really beautiful house in Alpharetta. Great area, good small subdivision, um, good schools, close to shopping. But it was in a community that hadn't had a great many sales in a number of years. It was a stable community, which is good. But because there weren't a great many sales, there wasn't a lot of people that were looking at that area and those homes in that particular community. And we knew that the community had a certain financial demographic, that the area was very much populated by, in this case, families with children who were from middle school through high school, because the schools were grade schools 10s, which was very important. But also people who had to be in an income bracket, because these houses were in the $600,000 to $900,000 range. They had to be in an income bracket that allowed them to be able to purchase a home like this at that price and in the current market with a 7% interest rate. So we sat down with the couple, and these are not novices. These are people who had bought and sold homes before. And the husband is a very well-respected professional contractor and has done work for many years in preparing homes, renovating homes for clients to get them ready for sale. And when we explained to them all of the marketing programs, but how important it would be for their home to be able to get 60, 70, 80, maybe 100 people all to the house at the same time to create this competition, he just looked at me like I had three heads. He said, I love everything that you talk about. I love the idea that your whole focus is on second mile service. And he really appreciated the idea that we walked through with one of our specialists and went room by room and then every space around the home to detail, starting with our list of 27 things you need to do to prepare a home, all of the things, large and small, that would make that home for buyers coming in seem like it was the perfect environment. Look good, um, smelled good, get the dogs out, um, you know, uh, everything that needed to be done so that when people showed up, it looked like a showcase house. But now the house needed to be marketing. And the marketing that we do is pretty massive. I mean, thousands of pieces of mail go out to very targeted buyers in a whole range of places, marketed in social media, marketed online, marketed into the multiple listing services, and marketed to all of the major syndication websites on the internet, the Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes.com, to speak to thousands upon thousands of people to get 100 people to show up. Well, everything got prepared. The day came for the open house, and they had decided they were just going to go up to Blue Ridge for the weekend and have a weekend off. And we took care of the house Saturday and Sunday, put out 100 signs to direct people into the community. They have one of those doorbells that has a camera on it so they can see who's coming to the front door and see. Actually, the camera has a very wide range, and they could actually see all the way down to the driveway. And at about 10 minutes to 1, because these things start promptly 1 o'clock and they're over at 2 o'clock, they jumped on their cell phone and, looked, at what was going on through the camera at the front of the house. And we had, I believe we had 106 people came to see that house in 1 hour. They were lined up. And of course, we let the entire neighborhood know that there were going to be cars lined up from here to the end of the community, and not to be angry with us, but that we're selling the home. And we just wanted to let them know that for about 2 hours it was going to be a little inconvenient. And some of the neighbors came, and some of the neighbors brought cousins and friends who might be interested in living in the neighborhood. By the end of the day, we had clocked in 106 people in about 40 or 42 different groups and parties that came to see the home. The following day, that home had 6 offers sent to us, which we negotiated, because now there was a competition for the home, and the home ended up selling in 1 day at one open house at 106% of the asking price, which was top market value. And the home is sold and gone. That's an open house. That's the difference between doing what everybody has done for 40 years and looking for the kinds of marketing services and programs and assistance that enables you to take an opposite direction for what everybody is doing that's average, to make sure that when your home sold, and this is our number one priority, sold at top market value in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle, so that we, as we promise, bring you to a smooth on-time closing. They were pretty amazed when they called us and said, how many people showed up? And we said, well, we're not sure, but somewhere around 100. Turned out to be 106. It blew them away. But that's what you want when you're thinking and planning and assembling a team and getting a great group of people to assist you. They have to come not with a good attitude, that's top of line, but all of the systems, all the programs, all the marketing, and all the willingness and assistance to help you to provide that second mile service. Whether you're in Chicago or you're Los Angeles or Las Vegas or Atlanta, that's what you need to be looking for. And that's the essence of what makes working with people and selling real estate great and so much fun for us is because of those wonderful outcomes. And when people say, "Holy cow, I didn't believe a word you said, but I hoped you could pull it off and you did," that makes it all the more fun for us. So, um, if you do want a copy of that special report, 27 tips, again, just either call us, text us, or email us, and we will be happy to send that to you. And what we'd also like to do is for you to like us. Stephanie, tell folks what we need.
What we need is for you guys to like us so that it will increase our popularity and more people will know about us. So if you wouldn't mind going on and pressing the buttons that are necessary to say you like us, we sure would appreciate it.
And just, schedule this as part of, as you're thinking about buying or selling a home, part of your, schedule for checking us out. Put us on the schedule and see what it is that we have to talk about because every single week, um, our goal is to bring you ideas and information and real stories about real people that have been through the process so that you can see what it will take for you to be able to achieve your big goals of buying a home, selling a home, or selling a home and buying another, and doing it in a way that is absolutely beneficial to you. So, we want to thank you for viewing this week. Again, we want to just ask you to like us and schedule us on your schedule when you're thinking about what you need to do to prepare a home. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Have a great week. And don't forget those 3 cool things coming up.
Yes.
Don't forget fun and shopping all in one.